What's up, y'all? Welcome to another review by Ryan. A very happy Wednesday to all of you. It is Wednesday, September 14th, and I all hope you are doing well at the time that you find this reaction. Welcome to the pre-finale. This is episode 11 of the second season of Made in Abyss, the Golden City of the Scorching Sun. The title of today's episode is Value, and I want to start this reaction off by sending, again, a huge thank you to every single one of you that have watched any of my 11 reactions, whether it be here, Billy, or on other platforms that I've been sharing my reactions. I also want to give a big thank you to my entire deep dive crew. Normally, for Made in Abyss Wednesdays, as soon as I finish up the main reaction video, I immediately go into deep dives with other international watchers of the show, along with people who are light novel readers watching the show. You guys have been the absolute best. I've had a lot of engaging discussions, very passionate discussions about the Made in Abyss series and how everyone feels about this second season. And you guys have really made this experience just that much better. And I have to say, out of all the communities that I've discussed this show with, this has been actually one of the more mature communities, and maybe the reason for that is because this is a very mature, a very dark, a very gory, a very direct show that has a lot of points and elements that are very sensitive elements that a lot of people just can't hang with. So if you've hung around and you've watched these reactions and you've engaged in any dialogue with me up to this point, thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. You guys have honestly made the second season experience that much better. So we are pretty much at endgame now. Fapata's rage and revenge and retaliation against the village for what they've done to her mother has begun. Obviously, by the time Reg woke up, she had already pretty much killed, I would assume, about half the villagers. And obviously, all of the graphics that we saw there, the animation that we saw there, I mean, honestly, I wasn't even really squeamish with it because we already we've come to expect that this was going to happen. We listened to her speech, her declaration, her advising the villagers, everyone that's present, that their lives are forfeit, that there is nothing left for them to have joy of, that she hoped they enjoyed their time while it lasted, because she's now there to reclaim everything so that her mother can finally rest in peace after all the hell that she's been through this 150 years that this has been going on, at least in the time down here in the Abyss. Obviously, we learned a bit more about what went down between Nanachi and Belaf, why Nanachi was able to see the visions that she was. We now understand that the reason Belaf captured her or had her commit herself to him was because he actually wanted to pass his memories along to her, because he knew that his time was up. As you all know, Belaf has been a very complicated character in how he has felt about all of this. However, he's also been a very straightforward character about how he's felt about all of this. He had deep regret in his heart from what Wazikan and them did, what the sages did, leading up to the foundation of this village and how things have gone the last 150 years. And with Fapata finally entering the village and him understanding that it's time, he, in a way, was able to make peace with everything that they've done up to this point. Him basically being destroyed now that the village and everything that was happening from the outside is now coming in. Him understanding that it's time to make amends, it's time to make peace. You truly felt that, even though it was obviously pretty gruesome seeing that Belaf was feeding off of Midi, because again, Midi can't fucking catch a break, even in freaking death. You saw that he was feeding off Midi, and we were very traumatized by that, but you realized that in a way that was just him kind of buying time and waiting for this monumental moment in which him and everyone else and the sages were going to have to basically be held responsible and to have to answer for their crimes. So it was a very nice emotional moment that we had, and obviously we had the emotional moment of having to see Midi having to see Nanachi. Good gracious, Midi, oh my goodness, so traumatizing. Of seeing Nanachi have to once again part with Midi. Now, it's very important that I say that compared to episode 12, watching that monumental moment in the first season, was I as emotional watching this parting as I was in the first season? No. It had nothing to do with the fact that the story writing of it or any way or any or its direction leading up to that moment having any less impact. No, it did. I was inside of me. I was just crushed. But we are now at a stage in this entire series that we fully understand and have ascertained what is about to transpire. We know that every single person present in this village that is outside of our main cast of characters is probably going to die. We knew that the second Mitty was brought back, Mitty would have to die again. And it makes complete sense that Mitty had to die this time, because only creatures that are created within this town can only exist within this town. And now that the barrier has been broken, and that basically means they are now subjective to the curse of the abyss like anybody else, that anything that is inside has to die because it cannot make it out. And that's, of course, that's how we saw as Beloff took his last breath as he gradually disintegrated. And as I said, I assume that Beloff is now no longer with us. So it was the same here with Mitty. So it was one of those things where it was really heartbreaking to watch. I was very sad to see it transpire, but I also understand that this is the only way. The second Mitty was brought back, Mitty was going to have to die again. And if anything, it's just crushing to see in these young lives that are present here, and everyone is present, Reg and Nanachi and even Rico, everyone that has been subjected to the curse of the abyss is having to go through things that people of their age, people of, their lives, these type of individuals should not have to go through. And that's what's been both a blessing and a curse for me watching the Made in Abyss series. I just, every single second of an episode, I'm more captivated into the universe we're in, and I'm equally disgusted with the universe we're in. And it's one of these situations where I really want to sit down with the writer for this show and just kind of just be like, yo, what the fuck were you thinking when you made this damn show? So it's just a lot of revelations in the last episode. And then, of course, we got to see everything with Fapata and Reg's beginning of their fight. Obviously, Fapata continues to be very upset at the fact that Reg forgot the promise. And even when Reg did remember the promise, he only remembered bits and pieces. His memory is still fuzzy, but he still believes that what Fapata is doing is not what she should be doing, even though we, the viewer, understand that out of anyone, if there's anyone in this show or anyone in this village that has a right to do what Fapata's doing right now, it is Fapata. Fapata is her mother's rage. Fapata is her mother's memories. Fapata is her mother's dying legacy. Fapata is there to reclaim everything and to ensure that everything returns to the way it should have been. And it's just mind-blowing to me, because even after that is done and Fapata has reclaimed everything and everyone has died, we still are really only scratching the surface of this sixth layer. And that's what's just crazy, that we spent a lot of time here in this hollow village, and this is just the start of the chaos to come that obviously will be coming after this season has concluded. So the last thoughts I want to say before we get everything started is my pre-rating and what I'd like to see as we move into the finale state of this show. First off, there's not many faults that I can say about this season, and this continues to be a recurring theme that I have with everything I've watched in Made in Abyss. This series is meant to make you uncomfortable. It is meant to include elements that not everyone in the anime community are going to be happy seeing. And there are people, even amongst my deep dive, that actually had to drop the series early on when they realized that this season was going to get even darker than the movie and the first season were. And I think that brings me to a very interesting note here. Do I feel that this second season has been darker than, let's say, watching the third movie and Bonrit's thing and what he was doing to the children? In certain ways, no. And in certain ways, yes, it is darker because we have more. We have even more gore than we've ever had before, especially with the gore that we saw with Fapata's revenge. But on the other hand, I really feel that, like with Bonrit and everything that transpired in the third movie, and really getting to see everything he was doing, and especially watching the complete dissection of Priska. I mean, honestly, watching her through her eyes as he was dismembering her body parts, I think is one of the cruelest fucking things we've seen in this show. And so, compared to seeing the elevator scene in season 1 with Mitty and Nanachi, there are certain times that I would actually say that this season has been as expected, but not as gruesome as what we got previously. But again, I would say that, and then I would rewatch last episode and realize, nah, this season is pretty shit. So, but as far as my overall rating is concerned, this is absolutely a top 10 show for me, and it's not just a top 10 show for me for this season, but as of right now, it does still remain my number one show overall of the summer 2022 season. So what I'm really going to be faced with as we approach the end, as we get through this pre-finale this week, and then in 2 weeks we will have the full finale, hour-long finale, might I note. It really stands, is this going to end up being a show that will be a top 10 of all time show, or will it be a comfortable top 20 show? I know without a fact that this is a top 20 show of all time for me, and I don't care what anyone has to say about that subject, including those that I've had very passionate conversations about in real life about this. Is this going to be a top 10 show? It really depends. And I said that I wouldn't start that discussion until the second season ends, and that's because we've had a lot of second seasons, especially this summer season. Goodness knows, a lot of you know that we've had some second seasons this summer that have, well, really the spring and the summer, that haven't fully met the mark that we expected them to. This second season of Made in Abyss has absolutely 1000% met the mark. It has been everything I could have imagined it being, and it has been a superior anime to watch this season. Really, and from a gore standpoint, really, the only one that probably matches close to what's going on here right now is, for those of you watching Summertime Rendering, what's happening in Summertime Rendering, which that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. So I'm still deferring if this is going to be a top 10 of all time show until the end of the season, and I hope to have a full statement on that once we do see the finale. But for now, I'm just ready to enjoy and watch what this episode has to offer, and then prepare and steel our hearts for what's to come in the season finale 2 weeks from now. So as far as the rating goes, and as the last part I want to say, the rating of the show on Mal, it did go up several more points. It is now back in the 8.8 territory. It's 8.81 as of the time of this reaction. I do expect that score to climb higher as we get closer and closer to the end. Do I see it eclipsing a 9 on Mal? Probably not, but that's solely because with there being over 31,000 users who've casted their ratings so far for it, as we get into the higher numbers, it becomes considerably harder for it to crack a 9. Everyone would have to give pretty much 10s at the end of the season that haven't already voted in order for this show to eclipse that. Regardless of if it gets to that 9 out of 10, this is the 31st highest ranked show in Mal's history. It is the highest ranked Made in Abyss presentation in the history of the running of this show, and I do see this score climbing higher, especially after the finale finishes. So with that said, I'm going to go put some eye drops in my eye, and when I come back, we'll get this reaction started. All right, guys, I'm back, and let's get this reaction started. Again, this is episode 11 of the second season of Made in Abyss, and the title of the episode is Value. We're going to get this started in 3, 2, 1. Such a damn shame. Oh, he went back. This is what she was born for. Please, Fapita. I mean, I say please, Fapita, but can I say anything that she's doing right now is wrong? No, absolutely not. If anyone has the right to tear this place asunder, it's her. Man, no one's gonna live to see the end of this. It's crazy. The chills I get watching this opening, I swear. Value. Jeez. Damn. Damn, he lost. Fuck! Well, it's done for the rest of y'all now. Oh, shut up. Damn. Fapita. Fapita, it's not on her. Fapita, it's not on her. Oh shit! He actually involved himself. Even he understands. Even he understands. She's not the one you should be after. Damn, she took him out. Because he even understands. She's not the one that your anger should be sent towards. No. Yeah. I continue to say that you're not the one in the wrong, though, Fappa. That this situation just fucking sucks. What the? Whoa! Belov. No. Oh shit. Oh man! Nanachi versus Papita? Oh boy. And so Belov was still fine. So he was still alive. Oh man! He is, unfortunately, which means this fight was destined. What is the gift? Oh, the memories. That's right, just like what he did with Nanachi. Oh. It's just, he's trying to free her while freeing himself. He showed her what she needed to see. Y'all can't win. Don't you dare. Don't even try. Yeah. Of course, even then, it's only a matter of time. Man, this is. Why wouldn't it? Fapada was robbed of everything from the moment she was born. Yeah. Because I'm still wondering what is his end game at the end. And that third cradle. Right. Right. Which again is why right after she had that life death experience in the first season, she was right back to wanting to continue. Rico Village. No, I think you're on to the right. No. This man. This man. Well, of course you're in real fucking hot water. Where in the hell? Where is he? What is really his? I mean, we know what his end goal more or less is, but damn. Just don't trust this man for nothing. These damn monsters. It is just tearing her up from the inside. Yep, because they can get in. Right. And that's what I've been worried about since Papa got in. Everyone can get in now. This village is done either way. Oh, shit. It's game over. Even if Papa didn't kill them all, the creatures will. Y'all have to get moving. Woo! Yeah, like y'all been stalling a lot of time and we really gotta get moving. Yo. Oh, man. Oh, man. Against all these creatures, even someone like her. Damn, they are just savage down here. Because this isn't. It's so fucked up. But what she's here for. And now the fucking balancing. Oh, the fucking. Even with you being immortal, you can't beat them. Don't. Oh my god. It's game over. What is next? But you've done enough. They're helping her. Because to them, you are the ultimate value. Her life is basically restarting now. Of course they did. She protected them. He wants her to be free. Oh! Yo, I am filled with so many emotions right now. Heavy episode. Heavy episode. Gold. In typical fashion, one word to declare what the last episode will be. Oh, wow. All right, guys. So there's a couple thoughts here, and I'm probably going to rewatch the episode before I go into my deep dive in a bit. Just a couple general thoughts. So first off, Belaf was not dead. He was dying, but obviously it does appear he really wanted it to be at the hands of none other than Fapata, because he knew that his time was up, and his last mission was to be able to instill in Fapata another reason to continue existing other than turn this down. Sorry, doing these reactions in the middle of a work shift can be interesting. Apparently, I'm getting messaged all over the place. But anyway, back to what I was saying, though. Obviously, the last thing that Belaf wanted to instill on Fapata was another reason for existing. Ultimately, as we heard throughout this episode, for Fapata to find her own value, her own worth. From the very beginning, when Fapata was born as the last child of Itamui, her entire existence has been based around revenge, annihilating every single person in this village, and ultimately returning everything to whence it came. But it's important that we all remember that before any of that came, as was stated, there was another side of everybody. There was a pure and kind-hearted Itamui that was just trying to figure everything out, and she had any chance of her own future robbed from her. But now, with these memories that have been instilled upon her in the mist by Belaf, Fapata is now able to see the difference in everybody and everyone that's come across her very painful 150-year journey up to this monumental moment. And as typically tends to happen in shows like this and stories like this, she's now lost what her purpose in all of this even is now. There's that side of her that knows that she should desire nothing more than the complete annihilation of every creature in this village. And trust me, especially the original ones, the ones who first founded the village that are still left, they all know that their deaths are going to come at the hands of none other than Fapata. And, I keep saying that I'm very suspicious of what his final mission is in all of this. But, he stated to Ougonkyou before disappearing down into the lower levels of what is soon to no longer be a village, that he himself has ran out of strength. So, between trying to see what Fapata's final mission, final goal is going to be, what she's going to do at the end of all this, along with what Wazikan's going to do, I continue to just be stuck here with a bit more questions than answers. But at least we know several things decisively: that this village is done. Fapata will probably be the end of this village, but what will become of Fapata still stands to be known. And ultimately, I don't know if she's going to be allowed to have the future that even Belaf said, where it is her finding her own value. It could be she finds her own value in death, or it could be that she finds her own value in a similar way to Nanachi, in which she had to find her own worth after the inevitable passing the first time of Midi. So there's a number of ways that this story could wrap up in this season. And obviously, as I try to fill in the blanks with answers to some of the questions I have, I know I'm going to have more answers, which is definitely going to be the case after I do the rewatch of the episode, and then I go into my deep dive a little later on today. But as far as where I am, you know, at this point. You know, we've been in Endgame for a few episodes now. Obviously, she took out Reg. She now, at the very end, you could say she protected the villagers, which really she's not she's more or less just trying to make sense of things herself. And if that means temporarily fighting against the creatures who are now robbing her of her very purpose for even being here, then that's, you know, that's what she's going to do. But it's incredibly important that we all understand at the end of all of this that these were all children, that, you know, she was born into rage and anger. You know, Reg, there's still a lot about Reg's past that we still don't know, which was basically his time with Rico's mom before getting to the point that he is now, you know, and that most of these villagers that are here were not here when all of this started. So for many of them, including the ones that may not actually understand the language that Fafta is speaking in, like when she made her grand speech at the start, it's very important that we all understand that for them, they don't understand. They are simply adventurers who made their home here, but similar to how Wazikan is, they too probably want to find ultimate value, ultimate purpose. They want to continue diving deeper if that is even possible. And we know, even if I'm just kind of assuming that that is the case, we know for a fact that that is what Wazikan wants. And he truly is going to do everything to continue existing and seeing this story until he takes his very last breath. So it's just a tragic thing, because for many of these tragic characters that never really had a chance, their tragedy started when they were nothing but children and are children now. And it's devastating seeing how this story is going to come to an end. But one thing that we know for a fact is that this story must end. There is no other end other than the complete annihilation of this village. And now it's just a matter of how is that going to be portrayed in our finale. So that's kind of my raw thoughts here. You know, I have quite a bit more questions, but I've kind of learned with this show that it's just a matter of just waiting and seeing to the end how those questions are going to be answered. And at this stage, we're at the end game, guys. So that's my raw thoughts here. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed the dialogue, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the finale as much as I am, for, and whatever the definition of looking forward to you want to think on that on. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys did like the reaction, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you want to be one of the first to be notified when a new reaction becomes available, hit the bell icon. So again, to remind all of you, we are going to have a 1-week hiatus. I believe that it's going to be a special episode broadcast in Japan next week on the 21st. And then on September 28th, we will have a 1-hour finale, which for streaming purposes will probably be about 50 minutes of the final episode of the second season of Made in Abyss, the Golden City of the Scorching Sun. So I will see all of you guys in 2 weeks for that 12th episode, and the season finale episode title is Gold. So until that time, catch you later.